Second grade students in Montgomery County Public Schools are taking part in a unique and memorable experience, one that combines music education with interactive learning.
I'm excited that I'm going to the concert. We get to sing along, we get to do something in it. This is the first time I'm going to go to a concert and I'm really excited.
So our concert that we're going to is 1 week from today. It is a big deal for these kids to go to a live performance. We've been talking it up here in class, and I know they're looking forward to the concert.
Being introduced to a very elegant setting like the Music Center at Strathmore and an orchestra that plays at the highest level as National Philharmonic does, it just gives them a taste of what there is out there in the world that they can reach for.
Students didn't just sit and listen to the music, they literally performed with the orchestra.
When you are an audience member at a concert, you are an active participant. And in this case, students are also not just listening, but singing and moving.
Dr. Wiest made it known that he wanted to engage our children with becoming familiar with the orchestra, becoming familiar with the arts.
And for Montgomery County Public Schools to be doing this and presenting this for all the second graders is tremendous.
Many of our students in Montgomery County might not get to see a live concert on their own, and I think this is a wonderful opportunity for every child to go. Every child is going for free. They're going to see live musicians making live music, real instruments. So just hearing a recording or seeing it on television is a completely different experience.
I received a call from the superintendent. It was over 2 years ago, and we met with Elliot Fanstel here at Strathmore and began thinking about a way to incorporate this wonderful facility into opportunities for our children.
Dr. Wiest, when we went to see him about the possibility of having students be the first audience members here, got on board like that. He saw his vision of every second grader in the county coming through this building. He said every student needs to be here. Not just some, not just the ones that can afford it, every student. And so I said, how many is that? And he said, oh, 10,000. I think that it was at that moment that I understood the grasp of this man's vision and the idea that he sees arts as universal, not a nice icing on the cake, but as bedrock curriculum material. There's a huge amount of bus logistics to be worked out, and Rick Penix and the MCPS bus people were simply incredible. They're logistical geniuses.
We've been preparing for the Strathmore concert by listening to the different families of the orchestra, talking about the different characteristics of each family, the strings, the brass, the woodwind, and percussion.
Trumpet.
The trumpet! We've also been listening to a piece of music called The Little Train of the Kaipira, which is a wonderful piece of music that features the orchestra instruments and has a great listening map to go along with it. A listening map is a diagram that shows features of the music. In this particular listening map, it's a train track. So I can point as the teacher to the railroad along the way, and I hear the cues as we're going along. So it's a great visual connection to the sounds that they hear. There's a great theme called the Berry Picker's Song, which is a melody that there have been words composed to that the kids can sing along with. And we've been given actions for the kids to do also while they're singing, which is great involvement.
We're going to see lots of people playing music, and I can't wait to see it.
Almost 10,000 children will be in this beautiful hall very shortly to enjoy the music and the fine arts and to appreciate it at a level that will make a difference, we hope, for the rest of their lives. You're going to see a real buzz going on today. They have had lesson plans, the children, from their teachers, so they have what we call the anticipatory set. They're ready to go.
Sometimes I worry that the arts are treated like a vitamin. You should take it every day because it's good for you, but you never really feel anything different. When you take a student into an environment where art is active, where they're a participant, where they feel it, smell it, taste it, not just know it, but are in it, it's a whole different takeaway for them.
And it's the finest type of learning. It isn't just looking at a flat page in a picture in a book. This comes alive.
It's showtime!
When they came in, they already had an idea of what the families of the four families of the instruments, what those instruments were. They had the opportunity to actually see them in action.
We don't usually do this in the concert, but when we come to the Berry Picker song, why don't you all join us in singing and move to the music, like some of you have practiced with your music teachers, okay? So that when we got to that part in the piece, they just sang along, and it went beyond my wildest expectations at how great they are.
We honestly could hear the students singing this selection, and it was just magnificent.
Please join me in welcoming Michelle Gajewski.
Well, I played the Bruch Violin Concerto No. 1. I played it for lots of second graders, and they were amazing to play for because they were so just entranced. Like, they kept staring at me and smiling, and then in the middle they started clapping, and normally you're not supposed to do that, but it was just the greatest feeling, and I couldn't stop from smiling the rest of the piece. It was great.
There was a piece of the program where a 16-year-old girl performed a violin piece magnificently. That was very intentional on the part of the orchestra. They wanted to put in front of the children a young model who could show them that students can do this too. You don't have to wait to be a grown-up to be a wonderful musician. And I'm hoping that those kids sat there and thought to themselves, I could do that. If she could do it, I could do it.
Another featured student soloist was Montgomery Blair High School senior Greg Jukes.
I played the Crescent Concertino from Rembrandt Orchestra, the first movement, with the National Philharmonic Orchestra under Maestro Peter Gajewski. I love playing in any setting, be it young students, old people, anyone. It's just a thrill to be playing. If you can get into the music and become a part of it, it's just one of the most wonderful feelings.
The final piece of the concert was The Thrill of the Orchestra.
The Thrill of Music! Well, The Thrill of the Orchestra is a fabulous piece composed by Russell Peck, who also appeared as our narrator. And it's a wonderful piece that tells about the instruments and that really illustrates not just how individual instruments play, but what kind of effects an orchestra can make.
The Thrill of the Orchestra!
In all of my years in education, I don't think I've ever seen a finer introduction to the orchestra, particularly for second graders or for any age, but they were able to see the instruments in action, and it was fun, it was energetic.
I'm gonna tell my parents that I went to the concert and I had a fun time. Concert was awesome. I want to play the trombone.
You want to play the flute, a trombone? Wonderful.
Well, I got to hear a lot about the woodwinds, the brass, the string, and the percussion.
What was your favorite part?
Berry Picker song. I had a great time because we got to sing the song. We sang the Berry Picker song and I like it. We want to go to another concert.
As we see these students continue up through the grades, I think we'll probably see an increase in elementary instrumental music enrollment, and those are things we're looking forward to.
This is the age for the children to start being engaged in music, in opera, in concerts, in everything that is out there.
I know many of them right now are saying, when can I play an instrument? I want to try and be that person that was on the stage.
Every music teacher deserves the credit for getting these kids ready for this important event.
I'd say thank you for Dr. Weiss because it was very beautiful.
We are so thrilled to have you here for this very special concert.
Well, programs like this are important to children because it's their first experience in a concert hall. It's their first experience hearing an orchestra, hearing live music, hearing different instruments, which motivates them to study instruments, which in turn, studies prove, makes them great students, improves their math skills, improves their reasoning skills. So this is just a win-win all around.
And the energy that music brings to a person helps them wake up to everything around them, not just to art. I mean, it has a social impact on their quality of life that I don't think you would get if you just said 2 + 2 is 4, 4 + 4 is 8, A, B, C, D, E. It's the connections that make people smart. Art is all about connections.
Music just helps with everything in life. It relaxes your body, relaxes your mind, clears and opens your mind. It helps you in math, the rhythms and the division. It helps in sciences, the physics and the science of it.
Music creates a great imagination, a place to go for little kids, and even for older kids.
I think music does transform. When kids walk through the door, if they're upset about something that happened at home or in another classroom, or they're, upset with their peers, they come in here and all that's forgotten. We have things to do, we have a job to do, we have music to make, and we have fun. I'd love to see every child continue in music somehow, whether it be as a singer in a community chorus, or a community band, or part of a symphony, or just singing with their kids at home. I think if my message can get through that every child can make music, and music is something that you have with you always, and you can make for a lifetime, then I feel like my job is done.
Today was one of the first times we've had the life fill the building. We've had the building, we've had light, but we haven't had life. And a lot of life just came through this place. And it left behind just this shimmer of humanity, of hope, of promise.